Pray until something happens, and eat ramen until your gut seizes up. Well, there's no battery. Oh, there's no back end. See, it's next to like a highway, but this highway is very, very manageable. I've seen tents set up in much louder roads. Looks like they're building a sidewalk. Yeah, this is a very manageable noise level. During the day, I think it's even like a rush hour, about 9 a.m., 10 a.m. I ride down from that camp. I'm going to check it out more, but came in the woods just to get a further look. Check out this jelly. Ugh, I touched it. I don't smell anything. Got a natural jelly growing on this. Yummy, yummy. I'm starting to believe that the lumberjacks planted this. This is all, yeah, it's even got a purple marking on a tree. Maybe that's the one that they want to cut down. I think this is lumberjacks woods, or lumber woods. Looks like the guy put his name on his bag. Schenkel, guy that was living out here. And you can see I moved a lot of things around. He had things loosely put up. All right, and from this camp, I think I want to take that chair. That's pretty nice. There is some grass that I can pull. I seen from the camp. I can pull some of this. This is some good looking grass to fill up a pot or two. It's a rare area to find grass, but it's here. I thought for a split second how I'd like to put a little water from my water bottle in here to clean it out, but I'm like, I only have the little water bottle and there's not much left. It is not worth trying to clean this out. I'm more inclined to accept a little filth in respect to keeping water. I'll try to wipe it out as best I can, but I'm not going to waste that water. It's starting to get warm out here. So as I pick this grass, I think about when I used to pick strawberries, and knowing now that you can boil strawberry leaves and drink that water for a beneficial tea. I wish I had known that. I would have been taking strawberry leaves home with me every day to experiment with strawberry leaf teas. But I think that I don't mind the labor like this so much. I'm serving myself, and I get to be adventurous looking for this. Although there are disappointing places where I don't find anything, but I'm serving myself. I'm not serving other people by picking grass and boiling it for myself, and realizing the benefits and saving on grocery bills in the process too, by increasing my nutrition. It's a pretty nice trade-off. You just have to learn what's edible in nature, but I can't live completely like a herbivore. I have to boil this because there's a movement out there that have this type of grass raw. You just crush it up and then drink that raw liquid. There's no way I'm doing that. I would crush it up though, if I could find a good way to do that. Crush it up and then boil it. All right, so I took this road, and I can confirm it pretty much was a road with these lines. They just abandoned it and let the overgrowth. Yeah, they have a gate up ahead, and then they just built a road next to the road. All right, and I see a tent that's actually up. So this is something different. It's an orange tent. I'll take a turn here. This is the gate next to the sign, south side bank. It looks like it's might be active or abandoned. One of the two. It's kind of hard to tell. It doesn't look like there's much activity out around the tent at all. It just kind of sits here. Hello? Is anybody here? Oh, okay, yeah, somebody's here. How do you like living here? All right, I'm just passing through. All right, so somebody was in there. All right, they sure can spread out. There's another dirt pile or garbage pile over here, further down, out of sight from that tent. Here I'm just walking my chair. I don't even know if I want to keep it. I almost considered offering it to that guy, but whatever. He probably doesn't want to be cumbered. So there's some evidence of activity. I think they might have had a pet. Hydrogen peroxide for infections. The bowl for feeding pets. Yeah, it looks like an older campsite, old chair. Oh no, laundry basket. It's all beat up. Everything is all beat up around here. Looks, say, a couple of years at least old. Yeah, people really like to come into this pine forest to mess around. I think I'm coming up on another kind of camp. Very, very old looking camp. Well covered in pine. What? Okay. Under the sleeping bag, there's. Oh, no, there's a tent. A lot of people leave their tents. They stole this for sure. This is in good shape. This is really not rusty at all. Huh. I don't think these things are cheap. Oh man, it's water. Oh, the water got into the handles. This looks like a really old camp, so just maybe, this is an air mattress, just maybe having it sit on the tree protected it from wear and tear. Pine needles really managed to cover a lot of people's trash. I'm just kicking things around. This one is I think a few years old. Pine needles, these pine needles do a great job burying evidence. Looks like they cut off something. The trees haven't been able to grow large enough to get constricted by this. But it does look kind of old. There's really really nothing here. The pine needles probably covered it. Could be a couple years old, because it's not old enough for them trees to be struggling with the twine. People There's a big woods next to this Walmart, and people have just over time like chosen spots to hang out and camp out. And I just, you know, most people would take their stuff with them when they leave. You can see like there's a sleeping bag here. Most people, yeah, that's not incredibly old, but it's too old now. Yeah, and then another tent. There's all kinds of tents. Another sleeping bag. People just come out here and then leave their belongings. Like, I don't get it. See, it's really old, and that can crack like that. That's really old. An old campsite buried in oak leaves, and it's just like that, spread out throughout the woods. It's a nice woods. It looks like a nice area to. It would be kind of enjoyable to get out of the sun. Just camp out during the daytime. Get out of the sun. Somebody got this. Maybe this is a marker. These woods are big. There's a lot of unique mushrooms on the forest floor. I just wonder if people got into eating these mushrooms or something. They're at least, the mushrooms are at least looking different outside of the pine forest of the forest. Wait, we're still in the pines. Mushrooms seem to like pine a lot. I'm coming upon a more swampy part. There could be alligators. We're getting down to that south enough where they're doing fine in the weather. You hear this like cricket. I'm looking for more grass. Okay, they're just puddles. It almost seems like a clearing. It's a type of tree. It's not a pine. That's inhabiting more of the swamp, bog, maybe more of a bog area. Yeah, this forest is pretty interesting. It's nice to walk through a forest. Forest in Texas, on the east side of Texas, because you don't see forests on the west side. There's water that just sits for days and weeks and months. This looks like it probably gets higher. Maybe there's a rainy season that brings up the water. It makes me think maybe alligators might try to tough it out during the low water periods. The vines can be just incredible. It sticks to my clothes a lot. They're kind of easy to break, but that's only because I can grab them. I can actually grab them with my leather. The PVC gloves, the thorns go right through it quickly. They just grab onto vegetation. But it's not like that in the pine forest so much. Some do grow, but they don't do as good in the pine. There's a trail that goes through these woods. You don't see it on Google Maps. I think I see tire marks. And I think I'll take it back to get back. It's kind of on the top of a ridge, top of a hill. It's not exactly like walking through the Washington or Oregon forests, but and definitely not like Wisconsin. But it's pretty decent with those Washington forests. I mean, pioneers said that they could ride their carts through in between the trees because the trees got so big and killed off the smaller ones. The trees are a lot smaller around here. Now that can't happen. You gotta cut a trail. So that tent I just took the posts out of and left laying here has now disappeared. Look at that. There is some activity back here. Some activity. I was kind of thinking about keeping it. Thieves. Thieves stealing from thieves. At least I didn't get to my cart. I could use this for kneeling. And that one too. Make good kneeling pads. Once again, here's another night where I didn't realize how bad the air pollution was where I was at. I was parked way on the other side, downwind from that truck. And then I heard the motor start up and I'm like, oh my God, I am smelling a lot of exhaust. It really is a bad feeling smelling that, and I know it affects me, so I moved over here. I wish I would have realized that sooner. I fall asleep. Alright, this Walmart is experiencing a lot of theft. It's brazen, very brazen. And I even overheard a Walmart employee mention that the theft is bad. Now, I'm not going to mention race because that's frowned upon, but I will say location, absolutely. It's on the west side of Tyler, Texas. Bad. Alright, there's that forest that's nearby. It looks like there's some homeless activity in there. They're not really doing anything at this Walmart. There doesn't look to be any serious security. And the thefts are just so brazen. People just rip open big packages for kind of some big products. Like a drill. Somebody stole a drill out of the box. It's very brazen. And the type of people here, I would be very wary of if I had anything nice in my car, at least. Which maybe it doesn't matter. It's not a drug addicted drug. It might be a little bit. It doesn't seem as drug fueled as that when I experienced my car break-in on the west side of Albuquerque, where there were clearly people strung out. But there's greed. You got addiction and you got greed. And greed is a factor. I believe that people who drive excessively and like to speed and just drive short distances or back and forth for no reason are the same people who will wear horses out. They'll just wear the horses out without consideration for their own well-being. Right, it's been a few days since it last rained, and my car electrical system really seems to be overloaded. It's not showing the signs now, but I had the airbag light on and the oil light on when the car was off. I have never seen a plea to the public to respect referees. That is funny. It's gotten so out of hand that they have to plead with the people to go easy on referees. So it's some older black guy in a police car, just slowly patrolling around here. Is it that bad? I think he's just wasting time. Just follow the direction of where the leaves are being taken to find their anthill. Alright, I gave this plant a sniff and a taste. Seems okay. It might be safe. It's kind of small though and sparse. I'll have to look at the map again. I thought I saw that it said, maybe it's across the street, that it said it's a frisbee golf place. I'm on the other side of the street possibly, and looking for anything of interest that I could pick. This is probably the best spot, but it's still, the grass is too short. And what caught my interest the most is this unique vegetation over here. I think it's bamboo, and bamboo seems to do pretty good. Yellow means, I think it means it's struggling actually, but it's still doing pretty good. I just wonder about bamboo leaves. Could I do anything with bamboo leaves? Could they be made into a tea? Because usually when plants just rely on fast and furious growth, they don't bother to try to poison anybody. There's no koala bears out here to eat their bamboo. Is the leaf edible? I still have yet to look into that. And I think it's likely that people intentionally plant these things. Oh yeah, there's a property over there. They would be in their best interest to have some kind of barrier from prying eyes. You want to know what's trippy? Is I brought this chair over to the parking lot edge, the edge of the parking lot in the tree line. And I was gone yesterday, and I come out here today, and this thing is out here. It was laying back over here. So somebody found the chair and then brought it back to where I took it from. But it's to my advantage because I used it while I was picking grass and filled up two pots pretty comfortably, just sitting over the grass over there. It's pretty nice. I kind of want to keep this for grass picking now, but I mean it's only situational, that it's right, like this is ideal, but it's not always ideal for all grass picking situations. This forest is so much planted by humans just for the pine. This tree really stands out amongst these pine, whatever it is. It's developed a bit of a clearing for itself because it created enough shade to squeeze out the pine. Alright, so I walked through a mall to get over to this Ross. I'm gonna see if there's any shoes of my size, 1660 or larger. I need to like be prepared with a pair once I need a light shoe. I need a shoe that's got some breath that can breathe, because I don't have any that are in good shape anymore now that are good for the summertime. Alright, I got some size 18 Nikes at Ross for $20 with tax. And they're fit okay. Usually Nikes are narrow, but they seem okay. 18 helps. I should look at what their philosophy is on this. They might explain themselves more. Don't tell me the sky's the limit when there are footprints on the moon. So that's kind of a philosophy of the P. George Nikes. But it's like, it's a flat shoe, which is pretty nice. Well, maybe it's not. It could be, it could be raised. I really could go for just a straight flat shoe. I never want to sell those. I always want to raise the heels up like they're just a slight high heel. This is what you gotta yell. Rider up. Right, this is definitely something I would love to have. You can jump on this thing. 18 inches. And then all this. I mean, there's so much benefit for things like this. 18 inches is good for jumping too. Step ups, higher step ups. You know, one big clue of the difference between big cities and smaller cities, towns, smaller towns, is the social challenging that happens. People are so loud and act out more in big cities. And I think it's the difference of being socially challenged, more opportunities and more intense situations. All right, I went to a Ross. There's two Rosses within like 5 miles of each other, I think. It's so packed, so congested in this city, this part especially. And yeah, no shoes my size. Biggest is like 15. That's not big enough. Yeah, it's so busy around here. It's just incredible. I'll maybe stay another day. So here I sit cooking again in my car with that propane I found. Just did this tea. I'm gonna let this little puddle cool it down. It rained in the morning a little bit. And because it's catfish, I'm not cooking anything else. I'm gonna do bread after. I need to close this door quick. But I don't need to clean the pot so much because the catfish is gonna be steamed. So it's kind of nice, like I'd alternate chicken, cook it in the pot, then I don't need to worry about cleaning the pot so much. And then do the catfish and alternate like that. And it kind of reduces the need to clean so much, because the catfish dirties it up too, actually. Looks like an armadillo. Or is it? I don't know. Digging through the ground looking for roots or bugs or something. Hey, excuse me. I see you there. You ball up? Does it attack? I don't even know if they attack. Okay. Runs away. I'll let it do that. That's fine. So I grabbed Mr. Spiny, filled my teapot in the church like grounds. I couldn't find any other decent plants to grab. There's no grass of any quality. And I had to wait till tonight. I had to wait till nighttime because the church was pretty busy. So after I filled my pot, I squatted down, picked it, stand up, and then all of a sudden I start hearing this snorting. This or it was just several snorts. I know it was a deer. a territorial deer, but it never showed itself. Alright, I was gonna go check out the Lake Jacksonville Park, but I didn't see this on the map, the sports complex. So I'll stop here for the day. Nobody hangs out here. Here's the bathroom, and it's covered with so many spider webs. There's actually a spider web in the toilet. So I had to check that thoroughly. And it doesn't even flush anyway, so you gotta make sure you don't put toilet paper in the toilets when it's a problem, so you don't overload it more than your own organic matter. This is a pretty nice relaxed area, barely appears to be used, so I think I can relax here, almost maybe sleep the night, but I'd like to get back to Walmart for the evening. You can see there's quite a contrast with the green vegetation and the red earth, and there's probably ants in here. Ooh, look at how bad that is. These fire ants are just awful around here. Yeah, I'm actually seeing the ant killer, fire ant killer liquids sold at Walmart on an end cap, because they're ferocious, and I mean they can wow. All right, this is where, so they do allow you to get over the fence. I could climb the fence without the stairs. But yeah, the ant activity is pretty ferocious. I've been walking the outlines of softball fields and soccer fields looking for plants. Oh my, somebody really wants to feed some deer. That's all corn. I just don't see much for vegetation to pick. The deer may come out to these fields to munch on the green grasses. They're so short, too short for me. I'm looking for big stashes, one I could just stop at one spot and fill my pot in one place. But around here, it's like I gotta like forage a little bit here and a little bit there, and I'm not really like settling for that. All right, I think I want to keep this. It's like a shade for a house. It's pretty new looking and in good shape. I think I want to keep it for the summertime. I could use it to cover up, try to keep sun out and things cooler inside. Alright, I decided to steam the garlic in its white papery package, because it's supposed to be easier to remove. See, it just squeezes right out. Steaming it with the broccoli. It's just a little warm right now. Whoops, need two hands. Alright, this is my second day out in this softball park area. Nobody really comes out here. Park managers did come out here to burn fire ant nests. And yeah, I gathered this type of leaf yesterday, not a lot of it. It grows so fast and furiously. Here's a flower of it. And I put it in the teapot with grass that I found. And I drank it, and I feel okay. I think that weed is something that I could just add to the teapot too. But I don't know what it is. Alright, there's some kind of, I don't even know how to describe it. This green grass, you can see it sticks out green, grows really fast out in the field like this, and there's little patches of it. And I tasted it, and it's almost like chives, but not quite. It's not hollow in the center, and it's not round, but it tastes almost like chives. It's like a milder chive. And there's chives off in the distance. It's darker green than a chive. I think it's probably edible, but what is it like for a tea? Because it's so like a chive that a tea is not exactly the most pleasant, I wouldn't think. And I have no idea what this thing is. It's pretty. Alright, I am really hesitant about staying here, or at least stepping away from my car for any serious length of time. Maybe after 3 p.m. after school's out, because there is some shady activity going on here, as isolated as it looks. First of all, I think a wild animal's done all this. That's crazy. Looks like the same pattern of digging behavior of like pigs. Okay, first off, there was this Mexican looking lady. She went behind my car and then with her kid on a bicycle, and then they went over to the skate park, and and they just hung out until this other Mexican man in a truck pulled up here, and then walks over to her and they hang out, and he just keeps looking at me, looking at my car, checking me out. So like I'm out of place. And some lady said morning to me. This is kind of a pathway for walking. Also, this black man in a gold truck, and you can see how fresh this is. Okay, he just threw these on the ground. Alright, he pulls around in the parking lot. He parks here. I'm like, oh, is he gonna park on the side of the road here? I guess it's legal. But I see his door open up, and he drops these on the ground and then drives off. Some black man. He looked to have some like jerry curls and maybe middle age. Some shady stuff going on, and there's a couple of condoms next to my car where I'm parked. This is a shady spot, and I fear sticking around, or at least walking away from my car in the evening time. Maybe up until I feel relatively safe up until about noon time, and then it's gonna get ugly after that. But the shady activity going on around here is a big concern, and as quiet as this area may seem right now. God dang it! I think I need to get out of here. What do you think's in that little baggie? They're having sex. They're likely doing drugs. All right here. There's some seriously shady activity going on here. Just by the little evidence I've seen, I thought it'd be a nice quiet spot. I think I should probably go. The black dog walker didn't need a stick, just like this guy doesn't need a stick. Where is he? This guy doesn't need a stick either. He's perfectly fine. They're definitely walking around with weapons because there's some shady activity. I would have actually bought fenugreek from Breakin' Bread. That's some kind of natural store. But they ground their fenugreek in the bulk section. They actually grinded it. I've never really seen that before. And I'm not willing to buy ground fenugreek. So I think this is was a housing development, and then they gave up on it. And they still mow it, but this tree fell down, and they can't really get back here. This fallen tree protects this grass, so I have a lot to pick from. Pick that, and there's a lot of cleavers around. So I'm pretty thankful that this tree fell down, and that they just, I guess, they don't have the motivation to take it out, because the project has been abandoned here. They have all these boxes, these green boxes put up for housing. They made a road, but it's all overgrown. They might have run out of money building this big brick wall to enclose the entire place. Yeah, towards the end you could see they didn't even finish the partitions. They only have the posts. You get the impression that they may have run out of money just building this brick wall before starting on the housing. Looks like it's a pretty nice thick brick, all hand put down. They didn't even care to make it look nice on this side, since it's facing the forest. Just make it look nice for the inside. because I didn't expect any work to be done in the forest, I suppose. And it looks like there's quite a bit of homeless activity. Oh, maybe not. That's just brick. So behind this brick wall, they have hidden a tire dump area that's been here for a while. This is kind of interesting. A nice thick. Oh, it's kind of ripped and spotted. It looks like it's might be kind of strong. It's so thick that it would still maintain some good strength. Toss out your computer stuff. And then the bricks, spare bricks for the wall. Oh man. Yeah, they've dumped some tires back here for the animals. These animals can make housing out of all these tires somehow, right? It's bringing the tires back to nature. All right, so when I dropped this off the top of my car, the flip top broke. Just a tiny welding in there. So it's a hole, I guess, and it's attached by some kind of a rivet. So now how do I boil this up? I gotta pay closer attention to maybe like the amount of steam that comes out the end. Keep the top on and just pay close attention to this. I don't know if I want to just, I guess I could kind of rest it on. It doesn't really, well, okay. I'll play with that first. I have a feeling it'll blow off. Alright, not too far from Walmart, pretty much right behind Walmart. There used to be some kind of an old camp. Yeah, this rope is getting tight around the tree, actually cutting it off. It's just starting to. A vine has grown around the twine dangling down. And there's quite a few of these twines around trees. It almost feels like I should do a public service and cut those wrappings off so that the trees don't get choked off. There's this old evidence. This isn't even like, there's really no evidence left behind by this person except for these old wraps. They took everything. That is tight. So I don't know how to measure years on that. Like, I would say 2 or 3 years old this camp was. The forest, I mean, grew all around it now. You wouldn't really see you don't see any clearing for what they had here. And I think the forest grows pretty fast in these parts. They used an old cable here, and I think this is loose. Yeah, this is fairly loose. Like three vines have wrapped themselves around this old cable thing. They had a tarp that they just cut off or ripped off. But there's nothing left, and it's possible a flood came through. There's major flooding that takes out a lot of the encampments. This is a lot of forest right behind the Walmarts in this city. All right, so I cut this one. You can see there's a little indentation that started, and that's probably at least a year. All right, so I've had this for a year. The seal was not even broken. Look at that date, near expiration. So it might be weaker, but I'm gonna have to use it because I'm entering more rainy, wet areas as I head east. And that wetness, the moisture, humidity, makes the itching worse. In the dry southwest desert, my toes stayed dry in between and didn't have a problem for weeks at a time, but now the problem's increased. And it was bad in Wisconsin too, I noticed. Bad on the west coast. Southwest desert was the best for my foot fungus. But if I want to go into the more moist areas, woodsy areas, I need to take more a stronger approach. You can see this toe is swelling from all my itching and all that. It's much larger than my left side. The lady,
You got your receipt?
well, yeah, but she should have it on her record too.
But I have to see your receipt.
Yeah, well, doesn't she have the record of the purchase?
No, if
I'll show
somebody
you.
came after you.
I went to this register. I don't know which one of you supervised me. I think I went to this one. There were 2 pennies in the drawer. I used those, so that would show up on the record that I
Will you
paid
come
for.
to here and pack us some water?
Yeah, he was right here.
Okay, that's all we had to make sure.
Yeah, good work there. You're really on top of it. Well, so far it's been about 3 females that have accused me of stealing water from Walmart, from what I recollect. Fairly recent too, in the past few years.